The firmament is not a dome. The term firmament and its identity has been one of the greatest puzzles concerning the biblical creation account, mostly because of its Hebrew definition. Raqiya, R-A-Q-I-Y-A, is the Hebrew word, and from Strong's 7554 means properly an expanse, i.e., the firmament. Now, Raqa, R-A-Q-A, is the primitive root, and that means to pound the earth with passion, by analogy, to expand sort of by hammering, and by implication to overlay, to beat, make broad, spread abroad, stamp, stretch. That would be the primitive root. Now, most people interpret this to mean just the expanse of the sky, the atmosphere, what is above the sky, or both, which it is, but the full meaning goes well beyond that simplistic interpretation. The creation of the firmament is associated with the placement of some sort of structure. Now, many modern scholars consign the term firmament as a relic of a pre-scientific culture and then incorrectly translate the Hebrew word raqiya as a dome or vault in some modern Bibles. But that's wrong. It is rendered properly as firmament in the Authorized King James Version. The problem that puzzles people is the implication in the Hebrew language of the firmament being a firm, fixed structure. Well, obviously, firmament. Now let's take a look at Genesis 1, 14 through 16. Genesis 1, 14 to 16, here's what it says. And God said, "Let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and years, and let them be for lights in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth." And it was so. And God made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night. And as an afterthought, it seems, the verse says, He made the stars also. Now these verses say that the sun, moon, and lights are in the firmament. Therefore, those waters that are above the firmament must be above the sun, moon, and stars, and as a result, the firmament cannot be a dome. The third heaven is above this upper sea, and this higher sea is below the throne of God. Let's take a look at Revelation 4, verse 6. Revelation 4, verse 6. Here's what it says. "And before the throne there was a sea of glass like unto crystal, and in the midst of the throne, and round about the throne, were four beasts full of eyes before and behind." Okay. Therefore, this particular sea, which is above the firmament, is above the known physical world. And since the sun, moon, and stars are in the firmament, this sea must be above them. Now, this is difficult for the science of man to fathom, but is a scriptural fact. The firmament represents a firm and impassable barrier between the world of man below and the abode of God above. Now here are some additional verses in the Bible which refer to this particular sea. From Psalm 148 verse 4. Psalm 148 verse 4, where it says, "Praise him, ye heavens of heavens, and ye waters that be above the heavens." This is the sea that John saw in his visions. And we turn again to Revelation 4 verse 6, where it says, "And before the throne there was a sea of glass like unto crystal, and in the midst of the throne and round about the throne were four beasts full of eyes before and behind." This is a present sea of separation that will no longer exist when God destroys the old world and makes all things new after the 1,000-year kingdom of heaven, and the final judgment that follows. We turn now to Revelation 21, verse 1. Revelation 21, verse 1, where it says, "And I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth were passed away, and there was no more sea." This sea is also spoken of in Exodus 20, verse 11. The verse frequently quoted by young earth creationists is a proof text to support their doctrine. Now, we turn to Exodus chapter 20, verse 11. Here's what it says. "For in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, the sea, and all that is in them, and rested the seventh day. Wherefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it." Exodus 20, verse 11. The reference to the sea in the previous verse is a reference to the sea established above the firmament, not to any sea on the earth's surface. Look at the English grammar of the verse. The heaven and earth are set apart as separate and distinct entities, and so is the sea. The sea above the firmament was not made until the second day of Genesis. Let me say that again, that's important. That sea, which is above the firmament, was not made until the second day of Genesis. Now, there is something even more important to notice about these waters above the firmament, and we will cover that in part 3.